Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here we're looking at top transfers for FPL Gameweek 35. Let's get into it. First up, we have the goalkeepers. On the top of the list, I have Sells at Nottingham Forest. Great goalkeeper, is currently top of the Golden Glove standings and is just an all-round good pick. Nottingham Forest, they're fighting for Champions League places. They have the opportunity to do that with the coming fixtures, I believe, and it's just a great pick. 5.1 million might be a bit more expensive, so that's why we have Flecken in at number 2. 4.4 million makes a good amount of saves. Again, great fixtures coming up. Brentford, not that much to play for. They could be on for Europa League places if they get their act together, and as you can see over the next few weeks, they do have some good fixtures. The final three on the list are Martinez, Pickford and Areola. Areola is just in there. He's a cheap goalkeeper, 4.2 million. West Ham don't have that much to play for. They do have some good fixtures either side of a couple of difficult ones. Tottenham at home and Ipswich away on the final day are pretty good. If you're stuck, really stuck for budget and just need a goalkeeper that can play, Areola is a good pick. Martinez and Pickford are better picks. Again, Everton not playing for much. They're in 15th place in the league, but they do have some good fixtures, particularly Ipswich and Southampton, both at home. They do have a difficult one away on the final day at Newcastle, but you wouldn't be surprised if he got a few save points there against a rampant Newcastle attack. Martinez, better fixtures, however, they're not great. He doesn't make a lot of saves. He does have good XGC though, so another good pick there around that 5 million price point. Moving on then, we're looking at our defenders. So Milenkovic is top. Again, Nottingham Forest, great fixtures in the run-in. They're fighting for European places. I do think if there is a team to go all out on, it is Nottingham Forest. Milenkovic, 5.2 million, has that a slight bit of goal threat as well, and the goals conceded, expected goals conceded per 90, good numbers, good fixtures. I think Nottingham Forest are a team to target for sure in these final coming weeks. Next up, Gvardiol, 6.3, again a bit more expensive, does have good expected goal involvement, however lately because he's playing more central it hasn't been shown as much. Now he did get a goal there in the FA Cup semi-final against Aston Villa, so maybe that brings about some good fortune in FPL for us managers. I have him in my team. I will be holding him till the end of the season because you can see there those fixtures there greyed out because City haven't been great. However, Wolves at home, Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, and then Fulham. Next up, we have Aït-Nouri, not great fixtures, but his attacking output lately, he's in great form. It just stands to pick him. He is 5 million, so there is other options there. You can see on the list, Konsa, 5.1, doesn't have the attacking threat, better defensive numbers though, and better fixtures upcoming there. You could argue that Aït-Nouri against Brighton, Crystal Palace, who are in a FA Cup final, and Brentford on the final day may do something, so either of those I do like. Finally, it's Collins at the bottom of the list, 4.2 million, you can't argue it. Decent attacking numbers, not great, and not great defensive numbers, but you're targeting the fixtures by picking a Brentford defender here. Next is our midfielders. You're going to be picking Mbeumo, there's no doubt about it. 8.1 million. We all have one of Foden or Saka in our teams who've been very big flops since they've come in, and I just can't see Foden getting minutes, so I want Mbeumo in my team. You can see his numbers there for himself. His fixtures coming up are pretty good. You'd expect him to return in most, if not all, of the final four. Bowen is a bit of an alternative pick. I've seen a few people recommending him, and you wouldn't think it based on the fixtures, but when you look at it a bit deeper, it's Tottenham at home who are playing Europa League semi-final. Manchester United, again in the same situation. Nottingham Forest, who could be a bit of a tricky one, and then Ipswich on the final day. Not bad fixtures if you're looking for someone at the cheaper price point than the 8 million. Again, on the cheaper side of things is Elanga and Rodgers. They're both in the 5 million to 6 million bracket. good numbers and decent fixtures. I would be going for Nottingham Forest midfielder over Rodgers. I do have Rodgers in my team, however, and I just have other things to be sorting out, particularly a goalkeeper. Just to speak on the note at the bottom of the table there, players from teams fighting for European places, example Murphy, Semenyo, Morgan Gibbs-White. I'm targeting these players because they still have something to play for. Okay, so Murphy, Newcastle team who are trying to secure that top 5 spot for Champions League qualification. Again, is a bit of a risk because Gordon is back, Harvey Barnes is playing well, so it's hard to say who will get minutes. Murphy did come off early for Gordon, around 66 minutes at the weekend, so it's hard to say. Semenyo, again, fighting for Conference League spot with Bournemouth. Great numbers this season and just a bit of an outside pick if you're looking for one. Finally, we're on to the forwards. So Wissa, Wood, Cunha. I'll talk about Watkins then at the end. So Wissa, great fixtures, great numbers, just a great pick all around in FPL. If you can't afford Mbeumo, it usually seems to be one of the two, if not both of them, are involved in everything Brentford does. So get him in if you can't afford Mbeumo at the slightly more expensive price. Wood, again, has been great all season. Fell off a little bit in the last few weeks, has had some difficult fixtures. What we're looking for here is our good fixtures now. So Crystal Palace, Leicester, West Ham, Chelsea to finish the season. I think they're great fixtures. I think Wood can finish with a bang. Cunha is the third player in this list, same price as Wood. Difficult fixtures coming up, but he has been in absolutely flying form. It was a brilliant match to be able to watch him there at the weekend. He was involved in every goal for Wolves. It was against Leicester, however, you could see him doing that against Brighton, against Palace, who have a upcoming FA Cup final to worry about. Same thing with Man City. You could argue he gets a return in that, and Brentford on the final day, whose defensive numbers haven't been the best. And if there's one man you want, it's a talisman against a shaky defence. Finally, I'm just going to talk about Watkins. He's putting up brilliant numbers. He's one of the most informed players at the minute. However, he is a minute's risk. Asensio, Rashford, Rodgers, they're all involved in the attack. You've Leon Bailey there as well. It's just hard to pick the numbers. I know some of them don't play in the same position as Watkins. However, his fixtures are pretty good. If you want to take a risk, do go for him. I also put Iliman Ndiaye in there. Ndiaye is one of the top performers since he's come back from his injury there as well. He's been very good and just another great pick. However, you do have to risk the minutes there as well, and granted, Everton aren't playing for anything, so their season is essentially over. Will they be on the beach? It's hard to know. But that is my FPL Gameweek 35 top transfers. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.